to the bathroom and I made a speech. So it turns out you do speeches at these things, so it's gonna be great. So, I'm gonna be honest with all of you. First off, Danny, I love you. Okay, so I really struggled with writing this speech. Not because of the countless stories and shenanigans Danny and I have got ourselves wrapped up into, but because I honestly couldn't think of anything good to say about him. So today, I think I'll take a moment to give those of you who are lucky enough to not know Danny a little glimpse at the man Danny Redden is. I've decided to break down all of that which is Danny Redden into three simple but complex categories: culture, cuisine, and charisma. To start, I want to talk about culture. Danny is a man of opinionated and passionate taste. When it comes to being a cultured man, Danny Redden is a 10 out of 100. When it comes to clothing, Danny only wears the best wrinkle-free clothing that money can buy. However, I'm really surprised that he didn't wear one of his Chinese knockoff Colts jerseys today. So when Danny told me he was getting married, I thought for sure that the planets had aligned and that Peyton Manning himself may have asked him to marry him. Other than that, I couldn't imagine Danny finding anyone that could actually tolerate him. I always wondered over the years why Danny played so hard to get when he was honestly so hard to want. But that's not all. Danny doesn't only care about his clothing, but he really cares about his presentation physically. I remember a specific memory as a young teen where Danny had become quite concerned with his eyebrows. For a few days, he complained about how they had become so unruly and bushy. Leave it to our cultured man to take matters into his own hands, people. The next day, Danny walked in with what looked like 2 Tootsie Rolls glued to his face. There was such a great divide between his 2 eyebrows that it would have cost $40 to take an Uber from one eyebrow to the other. When it comes to the arts, Danny is a film junkie, let me tell you guys. In fact, his favorite movie, some of you have probably never even heard of this, is actually Despicable Me. Which he has seen a total of 40 times. It's also, unfortunately, the only film he has ever seen. Music is a huge inspiration to Danny. It constantly inspires him to create a life worth living, full of beauty and wonder. It's unfortunate, however, that his only Spotify playlist is titled Lit with 10 T's and has Africa by Toto and I Like Big Butts by Sir Mix-a-Lot. Those are the only songs on it, people. If any of you ever told Danny to listen to the type of music that you like, it would definitely be the worst advice you could ever give him. Next, let's talk about cuisine. When it comes to going out for a meal with Danny Redden, he is impossible to underestimate. During high school, Danny would eat a chicken patty sandwich and 3 fresh Otis Spunkmeyer baked cookies each day without fail. I will let you guys know they were pretty good. Those cookies, thank you, Ryan. Those cookies were pretty good. But when he would get home, instead of changing it up, he would have the same meal, but in nugget form, with a few Chips Ahoy as a replacement for the Otis Spunkmeyer cookies. This was also his go-to wherever and whenever we went out to eat. If it was in town, if it was in St. Louis, or even on our family vacation, Danny was always living his dream neck deep in chicken tenders. Danny was honestly one my pleasure short of being the first Chick-fil-A to hit Madison County. Over time, Danny has really started to branch out though. In fact, earlier today, I saw him pull out a Tupperware container with chicken rings in it. So he's moving up, people. We're making progress. Sometimes I honestly wish that I could be brave as Danny Redden though. Being able to not take a single bite of a meal Mom had prepared and then asking if he could go get a soda and a Chico stick. What a legend. Finally, I'd like to talk about Danny's charisma. Danny has the same appeal as the first piece of bread in the loaf. Everyone has to to interact with him at some point, but only a select few really enjoy it. Danny honestly has it pretty good. He can be stress-free in almost any social situation because he can literally do nothing to make people think less of him. He's kind of the human equivalent of a participation award. I love you, buddy. This thing's starting to bug me. 1 second, I gotta get ready. Okay. So, however, I'd like to say, oh yeah, by the way, Danny, about that last joke, I'd explain it to you, but I don't have the time or the crayons right now to But I'm going to be honest, guys. A lot of this is an extremely over-exaggerated version of the Danny that I grew up with. I just don't get an opportunity like this to really, kind of pick on him in front of a bunch of people. So, I want to say, Danny, you haven't really been yourself lately, and we've all started to notice the improvement. That's the last thing. So, I first met Mandy at a concert. One of Danny and I's friends were throwing, and I actually immediately noticed a difference in Danny's character. He was attentive, he was caring, and he was happy. At first, I really freaked out because I thought I was losing the mischievous knucklehead that had been my partner in crime since we were little snot-nosed brats. Quickly, though, I began to appreciate the man that Danny was becoming. He had always been my brother, my best friend, and always had my back, but he had focus in his life now. It's like Mandy took the scatterbrained boy and helped him focus on what he really wanted in life. Through the years of patience and grace that Mandy showed Danny, I can gladly say that it has been a pleasure seeing Danny become the great man that sits before us today. Every now and then I will see the mischievous brother of mine rear his ugly head out, but I'm proud to say that now instead of just Danny and I getting in trouble, we usually have our wives by our sides. Mandy, you have become such a welcome addition to our family, and I've loved every moment that I've got to spend with you. You bring a joy to our life, and it feels like you are always part of our family. You are like the missing piece of the puzzle that we always needed. During Danny's bachelor party, all of us guys were sitting around and we were talking about our favorite stage that Danny has gone through. They span from the Bitcoin phase, the Vineyard Vine phase, the knockoff jersey phase, the Mustang phase, etc. But at the end of our conversation, all of us came to the conclusion that our absolute favorite stage that Danny has ever been in was the Mandy stage. Because of Mandy, Danny has such a drive to create a beautiful life for him and Mandy. His focus is on her rather than himself, and because of that, he's become a greater friend, a greater brother, a harder worker, and now a greater spouse. During my wedding, Danny was my best man, and during his speech, he said that I had saved him. But little do any of you know that Danny has saved me many times. When life has been bleak and hopeless, and I've been in a dark place, Danny has always been there. He's been the voice of reason when I can't see past my circumstances. Without Danny, I can't say for sure that I would be standing here today telling you guys how special he is to me. I've never deserved such a great friend, a varsity tennis doubles partner, or most of all, a brother who will always be there to pick me up when I fall. A brother who has accepted me through all my victories and losses and has loved me exactly for who I am in those moments. Danny has always had the ability to see past people's downfalls and encourage them to be better and always look to the future. I want to encourage those of you who haven't had the pleasure of knowing Danny to take this couple out and to get to know them for the loving, fun couple they are. Together, you guys are absolutely unstoppable, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for you guys. I love you both so much, and I'm so happy that you two have found each other. So, I want to offer a toast for a long and happy marriage and many shenanigans to come as a family. Thank you guys.